The medical papyrus of Kemet, also known as Eber's papyrus. The first literature of the science of medicine was written some 7,000 years ago and concealed for nearly 4,000 years in a tomb in El Asut, part of necropolis of Thebes, found between the legs of a mummy. I assure you it was not written by Hippocrates. The calendar, which is on the outside of the papyrus, refers to the 18th dynasty in the 16th century BC. The oldest portions of the medical papyrus reach back to the first Kemetic dynasties. The papyrus bears the following inscription: "In the 9th year of His Majesty the King of Upper and Lower Egypt, Amenphis I, the Everlasting." There are now in existence 7 papyri on the subject of medicine, those at Berlin, London, Leiden, Turin, Bulak, and Leipzig, the last being the Eber's papyrus, which is distinct in its completeness. Teta, pharaoh from the first dynasty, wrote treatises on anatomy and surgery and performed surgical operations with flint flakes. About 3300 BC, during the reign of Cheops, a medical papyrus containing anatomy was found by a priest in a temple. We also know that the Kemites practiced embalming for over 5,000 years BC. They even performed autopsies. Documentation of miraculous healings, including the reversal of paralysis and bringing life from apparent death, are noted. Part of the Kemetic medical papyrus was found concealed in a statue of Asar and was known as Cheyenne Sensen. Within this medical papyrus, we have a monument of ancient culture whose medical and historical value is inestimable. In this most important medical treasure of the Kemetics, we learn of the anatomic, physiologic, pathological anatomic conception of the time. It gives information concerning the methods of examination, diagnosis of patients by Kemetic physicians, surgical instruments, surgical procedures, methods of teaching and learning, as well as of the medical standing at that time. In the Kemetic medical papyri, a large portion of the diseases known to modern medical science are carefully classified and their symptoms minutely described. Diseases of the abdomen, esophagus, pylorus, and small intestines. Diseases of the liver, the intestines, bladder, and urinary organs. Diseases of the rectum and anus. Diseases of the chest and respiratory organs, including asthma, lung disease, and bronchitis. Diseases of the heart, eyes, ears, nose, head, and neck. Diseases of the scalp, including tumors, alopecia, prevention of graying hair, promotion of hair growth, and prescriptions for dyeing the hair. Eber's papyrus is one of 7 Kemetic medical papyri found to date. In this one papyrus alone are mentioned over 700 different substances from the animal, vegetable, and mineral kingdoms, acting as stimulants, sedative, narcotic, hypnotic, analgesic, and expectorant. Nature's pharmacy, transmuted into tonics, antiemetics, antispasmodics, purgatives, astringents, and diuretics. The medical Treastie continues with irritants, oxytoxics, dilutants, and cymatics. Medicinal remedies were also available as emollients, protectives, parasiticides, antidotes, antagonists, and caustic form, just to name a few. And prescriptions for facial diseases are also included. Diseases of the tongue and the teeth, diseases of the skin, the blood, arteries, veins, and nerves. Prescriptions for sores and wounds, for burns and diseases of the limbs. There are also diseases of female genitalia, prescriptions for maternity, including abortion, prevention of abortion, repairing a prolapsed uterus, correcting a breech birth, restoring the vagina to its normal conditions, and how to deliver placenta, preventing retention of urine, and stopping hemorrhage. The medical papyri also include protocols for hygiene, deodorants. Botany was yet another science mastered by the Kemites. The knowledge of the plant world and the most remarkable phenomena of plant life are detailed in the Kemetic medical papyri. Documentation of surgeons and surgery of wounds and injuries in different parts of the body, and how to heal those wounds caused by various weapons like swords, arrows, and hammers. The Kemites also had a vast knowledge of chemistry, reducing gold to powder as to render it miscible with water, and by this means potable. It shows that they had an acquired knowledge of chemistry only to be attained by the highest masters of science and art. There is evidence that a distinct class of apothecaries existed among the